Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, at Drayton Park Golf Club. Today I want to do a follow-up video from the video I released on Wednesday that was to do with practical ways of lowering your scores through using some scoring practice. So that's really about practicing under pressure, practicing with a scorecard in your hand. It is freezing cold, it's middle of winter, but how can we get outside? And these exercises I'm going to show are just ones you could set up quite easily in the back garden, in any little space that you've got, just to really work on improving your score when the season comes, April time and so, and the competitions are kicking off. So please check out the one I did on Wednesday as well. That was a ladder drill chipping exercise, so where we're trying to land the ball different distances. With slight adaptation on this in this video, what we're going to be doing is keeping the same landing zone. This landing zone is about a yard onto the green, which is where I'd normally be trying to pick, and it's around 2 feet wide, or 2 feet deep, sorry, from front to back. Now I'm standing about 4 paces away from this, and I'm going to try and land all my clubs in this area. So be starting off with my most lofted, my 58 degree, then I'm going to change to my gap wedge, my 52. Pitching wedge 9, 8, 7, 6. You can do it, you can choose a selection of clubs and say, well, it's going to be between a 6 iron and a lob wedge, or you could do all your irons. But what I want you to do with this game is choose how many clubs you're going to use and then try and land the ball in that area. The idea is to see how many shots it takes you to land each of your clubs in this area. So I don't move from the 58 degree lob wedge to my gap wedge until I've successfully landed in this zone. I don't care where it finishes, it's all about varying the landing area or the landing zone here. So I'm going to try first of all with my lob wedge. If I'm successful with that, I move on to the gap, move on to the pitch. What I don't want you to do with this game, the same as the ladder drill that I did on Wednesday, is I want you to write down the number. I want you to write down the score. So put the today's date, put the game that you're going to play, how you played it, how many paces you were away, etc. So you know how to set it up next time. Keep a score. It's a much more focused practice rather than block practice. You know, we can work on technique, of course, here, but what I want you to also be doing is working on scoring. So you're preparing yourself for the 2017 season when these competitions come round. I'm going to give this a go. Now, the great thing I like with picking this zone or marking this out like I have here is it's really focusing me on what I would try and achieve as well. So if I was chipping to the flag that's behind the camera here, I would be picking my landing zone, and from there I'm choosing the club that's going to give me the right amount of roll to the flag. I'm not going to be looking at the flag once I've chosen my landing area. I've chosen my club to get the amount of air time and roll time that I want. I'll put a link to a video I did on club selection in this one. Check that one out if it's a subject that you do struggle with. That will really help clarify what I mean by this air time and roll time. But the aim of this game is to vary the club selection, but keep the landing area the same. So what I'm going to be doing, although I'm varying the club, I'm trying to keep a consistent distance away from the ball, the same ball position, the same sternum location, and I'm even going to be gripping the golf clubs at the same length. So the longer the club, the lower I'm going to go down the handle. So the one variable is the loft. Okay, let's give this a go. Now I want you to treat this like you'd be out on the golf course. So if you normally have a couple of practice swings, have a couple of practice swings. Focusing on your landing area. Trying to feel the swing length you need. Set up, one look at where you're going to land it, eyes back, and go. So that was a successful shot. As you can see, it landed in my zone, so I'd move from my lob wedge to my gap wedge. So I'm 1 for 1. I'm just going to hit a couple here, guys. But as I said, you could choose a selection of clubs, or you could pick all your irons that you're going to do this with. But it's a great game. Oh, try not to hit the ball in your practice swing. Let's do that again. Another good one in my landing zone, and I'm moving on to the pitching wedge. Now there's might be clubs that you feel more comfortable with, but I want you to vary the club and really have this range. If you are picking a range, at least a 6-iron to a lob wedge, but maybe try it with all your irons in the bag. Get used to those clubs that you don't normally chip with. So same one again, I didn't have my 2 practice swings, I only had 1. Let's try that again. Picking my landing zone, set up, look at where I want to land it. There, I'm 3 for 3. Moving on, and then I'd be into a 9-iron, 8, 7, etc. So write down what club selections you're using. Is it all your irons? Is it 5-iron down to lob wedge, 6-iron, etc. Write down the day's date. Write down your score. Okay, so I'm 3 for 3. If I'd missed with that pitching wedge, I'd still be using the pitching wedge for my 4th shot. So I don't move to the 9-iron until I've successfully done it with that pitching wedge. So how many shots does it take you to go through that game? I feel pretty comfortable chipping with most of my clubs in my bag because I'm a big believer in varying the club rather than varying the swing length or how far you're going to land it. So I try and keep the landing zone the same, vary the club. Personally, I think that's the easiest way to chip, whether you're a tour player or complete beginner. Give the exercise a go. Post your score if you can, trying this game, in the comments box below. Do check us out on all our social media. It's a new year. There's going to be lots of content coming this year in 2017. So check us out on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. All the info you need is coming along the bottom of the screen now for you guys. We'll see you next time.